What's up? We're back with Cafecito with the Magnanis in August. Missed you guys.
We got our pumpkin spice lattes, and we're ready to talk about
shit that drives us crazy. This is a topic that you guys voted on for us to talk about, so that's what we're going to do today, and we got 6 juicy things that drive us effing crazy.
Yes.
So, if you see me looking in this direction, my phone's right here, because I needed to take notes. So, point number 1. Non-team players when it comes to your vendors. So we have been lucky to have some dope vendor teams, but we've heard through the grapevine some crazy horror stories, and one of them is vendors that are just kind of
worried for themselves.
They're just worried about their own agenda, and ultimately are just basically competing with all the other vendors and, you know, bumping heads when ultimately we're all there for one reason and one reason only, which is for you. So when you're building your team of vendors, definitely pick vendors that are team players, that know how to play along well with others, because at the end of the day, again, we're there for you, and that's it, you know. Don't be a shitty vendor.
For sure. And that'll go into our second one, and that would be when we don't get fed at the same time as the couple. It's not to be like a diva or a rock star or anything like that, but if we don't get fed at the same time as the couple, the probability of us missing something important, you know, a speech, an impromptu speech, whatever it might be, is greater. So,
especially if we're eating in a different room.
Yeah. So it creates these awkward situations where we kind of we're kind of nudging, you know, some, you know, staff member from the venue or the caterer or whatever to hey, can we please get fed right now? So that's a thing. And, you know, just kind of keeping with the timelines and vendors looking out for themselves. You know, it might be say a florist who's taking too long to set up the room, which then delays your room reveal, or us getting images of, you know, your awesome settings that you took all this time to plan out, you know?
Yeah.
In most cases, everybody's great, but in the cases where they aren't, it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Grinds our gears. Because we want to do it all for you.
Yeah, right. Don't be a shitty vendor.
What's number 3?
Number 3, pervy guests. Pervy guests.
Guys, if I had a nickel for every time one of your uncles pinches my ass,
we'd be
I'd have a lot of nickels.
Swimming in nickels.
Yeah, we'd go to Nickel City and play games. If you've ever been there. We don't by any means expect our couples to have pep talks with their guests before the wedding, because why would you do that? In the end, we handle it if a situation happens, and friendly, in a friendly way. But it just sucks to have to even have a conversation like that when we're just there to have a good time with you and your guests, and it just sucks being put in a situation where you gotta kind of call somebody out for being inappropriate. So that's
just
so awkward.
Don't be pervy.
Yeah.
You know who you are. Don't be pervy. All right. So point number 4. I was going to say tip number 4. Point number 4. People that touch our gear.
All right. There was an incident once where we were chatting with a planner, and out of the corner of our eye, we see a light turn off. It's hey, that's not cool, man. That light is, you know, 12, 13 feet up. If it falls over, somebody can seriously get injured, you know? So during reception, you know, we'll have a light that'll be on during speeches, and sometimes, you know, other portions of the night, dancing and whatnot. It just kind of depends on what the scenery and the need is. But certainly during speeches, kind of need it. And so
we'll let people know, hey, by the way, we're going to have the slide up.
Yeah, we're going to turn it off. Got this app. It's going to go right off as soon as the speech is done. So just bear with us. We're sorry. But, you know, unfortunately, people don't always, play ball. And
yeah. Well, main point, we've had some awesome people come, tap us on the shoulder and, tell us, hey, can you turn the light down? My grandma has cataracts or something. By all means, we turned it down right away. Yeah. But just don't touch the gear. Don't touch it.
Again, somebody grabbed my flash, too. On my camera.
No.
Yeah, it was an older dude, and he grabbed it and was just trying to point it forward, you know. It's just dude, you don't know what I'm doing if I'm bouncing off the ceiling or whatever. Don't touch my stuff.
Right. Well, yeah, point being, don't touch our shit, you know. Just let us know if you need anything, and we're happy to accommodate. But
yeah, because that grinds our gears.
Yeah, don't touch our shit. All right. Number 5, vendors that aren't on time. Man, I mean, again, it just goes back to, I guess, building a team that is playing ball for you as the couple. We had a bride, like, hysterical because her groom showed up 45 minutes late to the ceremony place because the party bus took forever to get him there. And so that causes unnecessary stress on the bride, you know, the day of. So again, just picking your vendors, knowing that they're there to, like, ultimately make you happy and make sure that you have a great day, you know. And I guess, like, a plus reason for having a wedding planner is for situations like that, because they obviously organize your time accordingly, and also allocate buffer times, which is something that we do too if we help you with your timeline. But basically, like, during a wedding, like, anything is going to happen, and, you know, obviously, like, you prepare for whatever situation, but not for a situation where a groom is going to show up 45 minutes late because the bus driver, I don't know, was lollygagging.
Yeah, and if I remember, I think, like, that guy was pretty, like, nonchalant about it. Like, you know, it was just
right.
Like, dude. So definitely check to make sure, you know, people are, like, well reviewed. That's where we definitely, like, have felt it different, even in our own wedding planning, like with our floors, for example.
Yeah.
You're going to notice immediately a difference in vendors who, like, truly have their whole heart in it and give a shit, and others who hire out whomever the fuck to, like,
right, you're
work
just another
them.
number.
Right, you're just another number. They don't care.
Yeah, pick vendors that are dedicated to your experience,
right,
and not just, you know, getting a paycheck.
Right.
All right, so last point, officiants. Okay, this one, like, drives me up the wall. Telling an officiant to step to the side before they announce you for the first time as newlyweds is super important. Why? Because do you want someone's bushy ass eyebrows in behind your first kiss? Like, no. Like, you
creeping like this.
Yeah, like, you know, like creepy eyes and shit. Like, dude, step to the side, please. And we will tell the officiant the day of as well, just in case it slipped your mind. But I can't tell you, even us telling somebody the day of, how they just don't do it. And I get it. A lot of things are going on, but if that's just the one thing you got to remember to do, like, come on, like, the first kiss is important. And a second situation with that, you want to tell them about?
Yeah, it was a Catholic ceremony, so future notice, if you're having a Catholic service, definitely make sure the priest isn't of the idea that it's a good idea to stand in the aisle to have you do your first kiss. Because this happened to us. The priest was standing on the altar, but then circles around in front of the couple, in front of the guests, back to the guests, and then tells them that they may, you know, he may kiss the bride.
So he's the only one that witnessed that kiss, basically.
Right. So that caught us off surprise, and my foot is stuck. And we were, like, you know, doing all these ninja flips and everything to, like, get the shot, which we did, thankfully.
We did. Yeah.
But that was a surprise. So again, a little tip coming off of all these issues that we have, I guess.
Right.
Just make sure your priest won't do that.
Yeah, and communicates with you if he is going to do that, so that way we know going into the day of that that's what's going to happen and we can anticipate it, versus potentially spraining our ankles trying to, like, jump over people to, like, get that shot for you. So communication is key.
Yeah.
But that's all we got for you guys. I'm sure our list will get even bigger with time, and we'll come back with a round 2. But until then, we will see you next month at the cafecito.
All right, guys. Cheers. Get your pumpkin spice lattes.